Hello everyone, this is Hatchery, and we're going to go over a very short tutorial on Thaumcraft. A few people have been having issues progressing in this, and we're just going to kind of go over it and just cover the basics so that people can move forward. So, first thing you need to do is you need to go out into the world and mine up some sort of infused ore, whether it be ignis, air, etc., just some sort of ore. And you're going to place it around a pure daisy. Now after it's placed, it's going to turn these crystal clusters and you're going to mine it just like I said, and then you're going to get a book called Strange Dreams, and a bunch of purple text would show up here. Now normally you would see this, it did show up in the last recording I attempted for this, and then the game crashed, so that was fun times. Now after you have that, you're going to take that crystal and come in here, you're going to make a thing called Salus Mundus. And what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself a bookshelf like so, and you're just going to sprinkle that Salus on there. And what that will do is it'll turn it into a Thaumcraft. Now, once you read the Thaumcraft for the first time, it's going to have a quest here, and it's going to have you go through a series of steps. And what those steps are, the first one is it's going to have you make a arcane workbench. And how you do that is you take Salus and either a crafting station or a crafting bench or whatever, and you just sprinkle the Salus on it, and it will turn into your arcane workbench. After you do that, you need to make a thermometer, which is the mana orb and gold plates. Now the gold plates is pretty simple. You just take your gold and you stack it to make double gold. You slap that in here and turn that into plates. And then you'll just put it over here. And that will make those plates. Now to make the thermometer, or the mana orbs, you're just going to make yourself some glass panes. And put them in kind of like this little cross shape here to make 4 of these orbs. And to fill them, you just drop them in there and bam, it's instant. You just throw it in a pool of mana and it's instantly filled, doesn't even consume the pool. And you slap them in here and then bam, you have a thermometer. Now, once you have the thermometer, you're going to want to go through and scan as much stuff as you can to get knowledge. And once you've scanned all of your items, chests, etc., because you can like right click and shift click to scan chests to get knowledge, you'll be able to progress, and it will open up Alchemy, which we have the observations, and we can complete this and open it up. And the next thing it's going to have you do is make a crucible. Now, in order to make a crucible, you got to make raw iron. And how you make raw iron is you take an iron ingot, and we're just going to grab one. And you throw it in the fire, just like that. You're going to see all these particles, and when it's done turning into raw iron, the ingots are going to leap in the air, and you can do more than one at a time. But it'll leap in the air, and that's when you know it's done. And there it goes. Alright. And we're going to basically do the same thing. We're going to take 7 of each of these. And we're going to make 7 plates. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to make a crucible. Now, crucible takes a hammer in the center and the 7 plates all around, and that's how you make the cauldron. And we just place that down, and we go back and grab ourselves another thing of Salus, and we just sprinkle it on there, and just like that you have your crucible. And we'll go ahead and scan that too if it let us. Nope. It's not. Let's try it this way. There it goes. So now that that's done, we do need fire under this to make it work. So let's do this. We will take that. We will make it day because I don't care about it on the server, since this is just for tutorials. Throw that there. And then, do I have the flint on me? No. Now I'm using flint and steel. You'll probably use the little fire starter sticks, but I just want this fire started. And we do that, and then bam. Now all you have to do is take a water bucket after this, fill it full of water, and it will start bubbling like so. And that's how you know the cauldron's active. Now the next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to do research. In order to do that, you need to make a wood table and some scribing tools. Now, a wood table needs to be used in the artisan workbench with some infused logs and gray wood slabs. Now, infused logs is made with astral sorcery. Basically, you take starlight, which we'll cover starlight in a separate one, but for now, you just get starlight from the, let's see, it is the starlight, there it is, the light well, and you just take a bucket of it, we're just gonna do this again because I have prepared. And we're not gonna make a mess of it everywhere. And you just take starlight and some logs, and you just throw those logs in there, and it turns into infused wood. So that's how you make the infused wood. The great wood planks, slabs, is literally a great wood and the saw, just like normal slabs in this pack. And that's how you make that. Now, making the scribing tools is a little more involved, but there's multiple ways of doing this. Now, it's pretty much any black dye, a bottle, and a feather. One of the quests, if I remember correctly, gives you some of this. Right here, Black Lotus. Now, this lotus will make black dye. I recommend placing it and cloning it with a coagulated plant ball. You can basically place it on any dirt or grass surface like so, and grab some of these plant balls, and you can just do this and duplicate it, and then bam, you have all the stuff you could possibly want. And I got these other flowers because I hit the dirt with it, but yeah, that's what you want to do with that. And basically, a simple glass bottle, vanilla recipe, and a feather. You'll get that from your ground trap. That makes the scribing tools. And what you'll do with these scribing tools is you're just going to right click and place it on there, and this turns this into a research bench. Now, in order to do research, you need paper. Now, we'll take a stack of paper and throw it in here, but to make paper, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need grass, which you can get from the EMC tablet right here. And you'll take that to the workbench. And you'll take some shears. And you're going to turn it into these plant fibers. And the other thing you're going to do is at some point you're going to need to make cotton. You'll get the seeds from a strainer, but you'll take the string. Specifically, you're going to take 3 string. And you're going to take some wood slabs. You're going to make a drying rack. And you will plop that drying rack up there and just put that on there, and this will slowly turn into paper. So now that we have the paper, what you're going to do is, this is how you get all of your research, is by playing this little research game. Now if you take a look right here, when you go into one of these, you have 2 things. You have aspects, you have recipes you've learned from this page, and you also have knowledge totals. And these kind of give you the ability to do certain things within the book. You need to increase these knowledge totals. Now, I've just unlocked this, so this is going to unlock a few other things. And these basically, the research requires both interaction in the world, like visit the lowest depths, visit highest peaks. It requires interacting with things, having different aspects known to you, and things of that nature. It requires me to actually craft it to move forward with that. Okay. Then we'll do just that. And then bam, scribing tools. And basically this chapter explains all the stuff about research and observation if you read it. I would recommend reading it. Not everyone's going to do that. So the Aromancy part of the research, the lowest depths, that's bedrock. The highest peaks, if you just go on top of any mountain, you'll get credit for that. And that will unlock that. In order to unlock some of these, it also requires progression into the other research tabs right here that you'll find right here. And once you open this, it starts the process for these particular researches. And this is how you progress with that. And that basically covers the very, very beginnings. The book explains almost everything with the research and with how this works. And basically, with research, you just go through these. I'm hoping I get a bunch of free ones. Looks like I did. And these percentages is a percentage of a certain research. And once you get 100% of something, you'll end up with a special type of value. Now, if I take a look at Thaumcraft here, there are items that you can get that will also give you research. Let me see if I can find one. Here we go. And if you right click this, you see I've got some knowledge totals there. And some of them are research totals. As you progress and unlock things in Thaumcraft, you're going to unlock more and more different types of research and different types of knowledge. This is a constant thing throughout the entire process, and I do recommend reading the Thaumicon on that. But this, hopefully this will get people through the very basics of getting started in Thaumcraft, because once you have these machines, you can do the alchemy. And in fact, just as a crash course, let's go ahead and do some of the alchemy. Now, one of the first things you're going to have to make is brass, which requires 20 of this particular aspect right here that's on this wooden pickaxe. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear some space here, toss some of this. And we're going to grab 5 of these. And a copper ingot. And how alchemy works is you throw the items in. And actually, I'm going to do this in normal mode. You throw the items in, and then you throw in the final part. So according to this, it's a copper ingot and a bunch of this. And it's 5 per. I have 5 of these. Let me go ahead and get 3 more copper ingots. So we got a clean batch. And then we'll do a dirty batch as well, so you can see what can happen. So we throw these items in here, like so, and then throw in the copper, and then bam, you have your alchemical brass. Now, bad things can happen if you don't do this correctly. And one of the only ways to see some of the negative effects is if you have an item that you got to craft later on using the tinkering among Thaumcraft, which is artifice, I believe is the term I was looking for. And that item is the Goggles of Revealing, which is this one right here. So we're going to give ourselves those goggles just so you can see real quick what this looks like. Now you don't see anything right now, but one thing I want you to notice is over in the upper left corner you'll see a little meter up there that shows the amount of Viz and the amount of Taint. Now, because we used everything that was in that, there was no leftovers, okay? So there was no Taint added. It was a direct 1-to-1. Now, say we use 2 of these. And a single copper ingot. Now, first off, when I throw this in here, you see it shows how much is in there. Now we got 8. And then bam, we have leftover. What's going to happen with that? Well, over time, this viz will evaporate and leave the cauldron. And when it does, it creates taint. Now, there's not enough of it to really see taint in the meter. But as that corruption goes out, oh, wait, it just kind of showed up on one of these. Where's it at? Where's it? There we go. You can see that there's 12.2 basically corruption or taint. Vitrium is what we eventually will know it as. And that taint flux is bad. You want to avoid having flux wherever possible. But it takes a lot to be able to really mess things up. So I wouldn't stress too much about it because you need to have over 100 plus. You basically have to fill the bar with flux to really start getting some bad taint effects going on. And eventually in your research, you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to throw a whole bunch of stuff in here and taint everything in order to basically get some research. And let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's do that. Let's see what we can throw in there to get a whole bunch at once. Throw that in there. Throw those in there. Why not? That looks like a good idea. There's some more. Got this in there. Throw some of that in there. And whoa, that's a lot of flux coming out. But we're not done yet. We're gonna throw some of you in there. And yeah, let's throw this in here. And you notice how it's boiling over. Well, when you start having things boil over, eventually you're going to unlock research for Taint. This is going to take a little while to fully boil over, so what we're going to do is we're going to speed it up a little bit. By adding a lot more to this. There we go. That's some good flux right there. And what this will eventually do is create tears in the world. This is basically the supreme example of what you should never do. You should never do this. This is bad. But we did it. For science. And our flux is rising steadily. And here soon, because it's over 100, we're going to start seeing rips in the world. And oh, I think we got one. Yes, we do. We have a tear in the world. And what this will do is it will unlock various things. And as Taint continues, this will basically grow and whatnot. So that's basically it. That's the very, very basics on things you need to know about with Thaumcraft to get started. Do your research, craft things in here. You can put your Viz crystals in each of these. Some of them will require Viz crystals. This is how you do alchemy, and that is what you should not do with alchemy. And that's basically how you craft your parts. So hopefully this very quick crash course on getting started with Thaumcraft will help you guys out. Talk to you later.